How do I put the hanging hardware on? What's the official rules? What are the guidelines to hanging wall art? You've come to the right place. I just finished up these 2 commissions. We need to put some hanging hardware on these bad boys, and then we're gonna ship them out. So I'm just gonna take this guy, cool little dude, skull with a tree coming out the eyeball, the eye hole. So the first step to hanging wall art is to identify the top of the painting. Step 1 complete. This is the top. Don't forget it. This is important. You don't have to do this twice. So now that I've identified the top as this, we're going to flip this so the top is facing me. So you see, this is the top. That's what we have indicated. You can even mark it. Top, whatever. So the rule of thumb of measuring out where you want your hanging hardware to go is 1/3 from the top of the painting. So I'm gonna measure my canvas. Looks to be about 16 inches. That's about right. 16? What's 16 divided by 3? 5 inches and something. 5 1/3 inch. Doesn't have to be exact. So I'm gonna ballpark it. So we're gonna go 5 and let's say 5 1/4. Close enough. Shoot. This isn't science. This is art. 5 1/4. Sometimes we've got to be exact. Other times, not so much. This is one of those not so much times. I'm gonna put a little mark there at the 5 1/4. If I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I often just eyeball this. I don't like to measure things. So we got our marks. That's ready to go. Next step, we're gonna pilot the holes for our screws. So I just have this nice little brushless drill. Got my bit, slightly smaller than the screw, and we're just going to drill a hole like 1/4 inch from the edge, the inside edge. Doesn't have to be deep, just a couple threads worth to get us started. Then you're gonna switch the battery to your impact driver. You don't need an impact driver. I like an impact driver because it doesn't spin out on your screws, and we're working with really tiny screws. So if you are a DIYer and have one of these, this works out great. If not, it's fine. You can use a damn screwdriver, doesn't matter. I also like to use a smaller Phillips bit. This is a 2, I think. It's a little bit smaller. Works better for these smaller screws. Doesn't strip them as much. So you see that? So you're gonna take your triangle hook and your screw. But first, you remember this little cardboard thing? This is just a couple pieces of cardboard stuck together. And this is to protect your canvas so that you don't jab it through. I've done that before. You don't want to do that. I should have probably had it there when I did the drill, piloting the holes, but I forgot. Luckily, I didn't mess it up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and place that bad boy right over that hole. See that? Right over that hole that we just drilled. We're gonna get our screw inserted. I kind of like to press down a little bit so it stays in there nice and secure, even though it's wobbling right now. Pay no mind. Get that nice and tight. Doesn't have to be tight as hell. Just make sure it's not going anywhere. Take your second one. Same thing on that side. There you go. You got your hooks. Boom, just like, look, I didn't even move the damn thing. Oh well, done with that. And now we're gonna take our super soft, finger-friendly, super soft strand, max picture weight of 25 pounds. If you have a painting that's heavier than that, this won't do. None of my paintings are ever that heavy, so this is perfect for me. And I have a lifetime supply. That's a bitch ton. Anyway, it's really nice because it has this like, kind of plasticky casing. A lot of wire you get is just the raw wire. It's kind of a nice plasticky, rubbery nylon casing on it that just is that extra step. A little nicer than your standard wire. It's not gonna rust on you. It feels really nice on your fingertips. It's the simple things. So, we're not gonna worry about measuring this at first. We're just gonna go to our first hook through, maybe pass through like 3 inches or so. I'm gonna pull it tight like that, so I have my little bend of the wire. See that? Kind of stays in place. And on this first one, we are going to just go ahead and do a loop-de-loop and pull, and your shoes are looking cool. So just like a little simple knot there, tying that knot. And you know what? Let's go ahead and just do that one more time. Double knot that son of a gun. Squeeze, but don't poop. Don't poop your pants. Fun fact, I pooped my pants today, 30 years old. And then when you get that knot nice and tight, So basically looking somewhat better than this. That's garbage, but yours will look better, I promise. And then we're gonna make it look real nice by wrapping it tightly. Loop it under and pull it down. Loop it under, pull it down, so it looks real nice. Nice and secure. And now that's not going anywhere. You can pull that all down. And then for this part, before we measure this out, some people like to bring it all the way up to here. I think that's ridiculous. You all need to chill out. I do basically tight across and then just give it a little squeeze, just until my fingers are like a nice C shape like that. I give it a nice squeeze, and actually we're going to take our wire cutter. So I give it a nice C squeeze, and you see how I'm kind of just past, maybe a couple inches past the outside of the canvas. That's a good reference point. We're just gonna snip, commit, baby, and then do the same thing we did the other side. This time, I'm actually not going to tie the knot, you feel me? I'm just going to loop and pull, and we'll do this until it's nice and tight and secure. The reason I'm doing that and I'm not tying the knot is so that the person can adjust it if they need to. Maybe they already put a hole in their wall and it's not quite where they want it to be. This gives them a little bit of play. They can undo it and adjust it. You know, you don't have to do that. It's just something I like to do. And I like to even pull it taut. That's pretty much where it's gonna be. So that's pretty good. I like it to be this tight. Some people like it looser. I like it this tight because it snugs the painting closer up to the wall whenever you go to hang it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have our hanging hardware assembled, and now it's time to hang it on the wall. So the general rule of thumb here with hanging art on the walls, at least this is what I learned when I was working for my art gallery back in university, is the 60-inch rule. So that means the center of your painting should come right about to 60 inches from the floor to the center of your painting. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. So we're just gonna measure that out. I don't have a pencil, but I do have a nail, so I'm gonna just scratch the wall. And now I'm gonna kind of eyeball from left to right where I want this to be. You can do a measurement in between whatever area you have. If it's in the corner of a room, in between a window, you can just measure that out, center it. A lot of this is done by your eyes. When in doubt, use your eyes, because that's what you're going to be using to view the painting once it's hung on the wall. You can follow these guidelines with the measurements and whatever, but ultimately it comes down to how it looks. So 60 inches, 5 feet, right about, yeah. You can't see that, but I can. That's all that matters. You remember when we measured this bad boy? What was it, 16 inches? Okay, so now we're gonna divide that in half. 8 inches, that's where the 60-inch mark is gonna line up, about 8 inches. So instead of measuring and marking the 8 inches here, I'm actually just gonna go from the top, and I'm gonna measure the distance between the top and this little point here. 3 3/4 of an inch, it looks like. So then I'm gonna do some math. 8 minus 3 3/4 is 4 1/4. There's an easier way to do this for sure, but this is how I'm doing it, so deal with it. 4 1/4 plus 60 inches, 64 1/4. That's where the nail's gonna go. Are you ready? Really, I didn't have to add 60 because I already put my 60 mark on here. There's a better way to do this. I'm out of touch. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Find the mark. Where's the mark? Here's the mark. So we're gonna burn an inch, which means I'm going for 5 1/4. Do you understand me? Are you following me? I don't know. Okay, so there's the new mark, and we're just gonna commit, baby. Boom. This is a rental. Now all I gotta do is hang the painting. I like to just grab behind here, go like that. Boom. It's hung. Something like that. You can use a level to level it out. I don't like to do that. I just eyeball it because it's what I'm looking with anyway. Looks pretty good. And you know, that's all there really is to it. The bigger your canvas, the harder it is to hang the damn thing. And there is a hack for that that involves a fork. So if your hands just aren't big enough to wrap around a giant canvas, you just stick your fork like that and use this as your guide. It's this easy. Yes, it'll just guide you down Just like that. It's perfect. If you want to know how to package your art to ship to a client, check out this video. And if you want to see this painting and the one behind me being painted, check out this video. Also, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.